Hello and welcome back to our channel ISKCON Blantyre. Yesterday we discussed how Srila Prabhupada has been merciful to us and gave the big scriptures like Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam into small tablets, swallow, which makes us easy to swallow. And those are the small books of Srila Prabhupada that he has so much, given his life and soul to make it very palatable, very understandable this difficult subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So yesterday we discussed how we are going to start reading the small books and discuss a bit. So let's start. The first book name is On the Way to Krishna. The first chapter's name is Throughway to Happiness. Every one of us is in search after happiness, but we do not know what real happiness is. We see so much advertised about happiness, but practically speaking, we see so few happy people. This is because so few people know that the platform of real happiness is beyond temporary things. This it is this real happiness that is described in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Happiness is generally perceived through our senses. A stone, for instance, has no senses and cannot perceive happiness and distress. Developed consciousness can perceive happiness and distress more intensely than undeveloped consciousness. Trees have consciousness, but it is not developed. Trees may stand for a long time in all kinds of weather, but they have no way of perceiving miseries. If a human being were asked to stand like a tree only for 3 days or even less, he would be unable to tolerate it. The conclusion is that every living being feels happiness or distress according to the degree of development of consciousness. Yes, we are seeing here how Prabhupada is starting off by saying that we are seeking happiness. Who is not seeking happiness? Everybody is seeking happiness. But this happiness depends on our consciousness and the way we perceive it. And Prabhupada is giving an example of the tree. The tree is also conscious, the tree is also a living being, but it cannot feel how we feel because our consciousness is much more evolved. Our consciousness is so evolved that even if somebody is not saying anything to us, we still perceive, oh, that guy is thinking bad about me. So that is the difference between the animal consciousness or the tree consciousness and the human consciousness. Because we have more better consciousness, we think differently, and we perceive happiness differently. Let's go ahead. Happiness is generally okay, that is done, sorry, my mistake. The happiness that we are experiencing in this material world is not real happiness. If one asks a tree, are you feeling happy? The tree, if it could, might say, yes, I am happy standing here all year. I am enjoying the wind, the snowfall very much, etc. This may be enjoyed by the tree, but for a human being, it is a very low standard of enjoyment. There are different kinds and grades of living entities, and their conceptions and perceptions of happiness are also all different types and grades. Although one animal may see that other animal is being slaughtered, he will go on chewing grass, for he has no knowledge to understand that he may be next. He is always thinking that he is happy, but at the next moment he may be slaughtered. Yes, we are seeing here how Prabhupada is speaking about happiness and how we perceive happiness differently. Here, Prabhupada is giving an example of the tree, and he's saying how the tree, if you ask if the tree is happy, the tree might say, yes, I'm happy here standing all year long, be it rain, be it wind, be it snowfall, or be it cold, like how we have here, or how we have the summer season in India, very, very hot. The tree does not have any option. But as human beings, we wouldn't want to stay in the heat of the summer not more than a few minutes. Similarly, the night of the winter, not more than a few more minutes, or for that matter, rain. We all have different kinds of happiness. We all have different kinds of uh, perceptions of how we see good and bad. And Prabhupada is giving this very simple example here how the animals have also different perception, and how if you ask the goat who is just grazing in the garden that are you happy, so it might say yes, I am very very happy, but he does not know that in the slaughterhouse next is its number is going to be the one who is going to be slaughtered next. So because of poor fund of knowledge, people might think they are happy, but in absolute sense we have much more to learn. And Prabhupada is giving more examples and he's going to explain. Now he's going to use a shloka or a verse from the Bhagavad Gita. Let's go back and check it out. In this way, there are different degrees of happiness. Yet, of all of them, what is the highest happiness? Sri Krishna tells Arjuna, Sukham atyantikam yattat buddhigrahayam atindriyam vetti yatra nachaivayam Sitascharati Tattvataha. Translation of that verse is in that joyous state, samadhi or meditation, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth. This is in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 21st verse. Continue reading. Buddhi means intelligence. One has to be intelligent if he wants to enjoy. Animals do not have really developed intelligence and so cannot enjoy life as human being can. The hands, the nose, the eyes, the other sense organs, and all the bodily parts may be present on a dead man, but he cannot enjoy. Why not? The enjoying energy, the spiritual spark, has left, and therefore the body has no power. If one looks further into matter, if one looks further into the matter with a little intelligence, he can understand that it is not the body that was enjoying at all, but the small spiritual spark that was within. Although one may think that he is enjoying the bodily sense organs, the real enjoyer is that spiritual spark. That spark always has the potency of enjoyment, but it is not always manifest due to being covered by material tabernacle. Although we may not be aware of it, it is not possible for the body to experience enjoyment without the presence of the spiritual spark. If a man is offered a dead body of a beautiful woman, will he accept it? No, because the spiritual spark has moved out of the body. Not only was it enjoying within the body, but it was maintaining the body. When that spark leaves, the body simply deteriorates. Yes, here Prabhupada is explaining how important the soul within us is. We generally think, I am this body, but actually, I'm not this body. I'm the eternal spirit soul who never grows old. My body might grow old. You can see my beard is graying, my hair are graying. I'm growing old. Just 10 years back, I had much more strength. Now I'm a little old. And so also with everybody else. And once the spark of life, which is the spirit soul, leaves the body, which means the person dies. After the person dies, however beautiful or however famous he may be, the body is no longer cooperating. You can be the biggest fighter, but once you're dead, even a small child can come kick you and you cannot do anything. So that is the power of the spirit soul. So long as the spirit soul is there, the body can do its things. It can run, it can jump, it can earn, it can go study, it can have fun. But once the spirit soul leaves the body, alas, finish. So let's go ahead and read a little more. It follows that if the spirit is enjoying, it must have senses also. Otherwise, how can it enjoy? The Vedas confirm that the spirit soul, although atomic in size, is the actual enjoying agent. It is not possible to measure the soul, but that is not to say that it is without measurement. An object may seem to us, an object may seem to us to be no bigger than a point and may seem to have no length or width. But when we perceive it under microscope, we can see it has both length and width. Similarly, the soul also has its dimensions, but we cannot perceive them. When we buy a suit or a dress, it is made to fit the body. The spirit spark, the spiritual spark, which have form, otherwise, the spiritual spark must have a form. Otherwise, how is the material body has grown to accommodate it? The conclusion is that the spiritual spark is not impersonal. It is an actual person. God is an actual person, and the spiritual spark, being a fragmental part of Him, is also a person. If the Father has the personality and individuality, the Son also has them. And if the Son has them, we can conclude that the Father has them. So, how can we, as sons of God, assert our personality and individuality and at the same time deny them to our Father, the Supreme Lord? Yes, we are seeing ourselves, we have form, and that form is because our spirit has a form. Because our spirit has a form, that's why our body has grown according to it. So here the simple definition Prabhupada is giving, or simple explanation Prabhupada is trying to give, is that if we, as small, tiny, parts of God have a form, how can we say that God is formless? If A is equal to B, then technically B is also equal to A. Here we are saying we are part of God. Every religion says we are a part of God. But then we have proper forms, and many of them deny that God does not have a form. How can God not have a form if the part has a form? So that's what Prabhupada is trying to say, that everything has a form, including God, because God is the supreme person. We are persons, we are tiny persons. God is supreme person. So why not the supreme person not have a form? He also has a form. He has a spiritual form. He doesn't have form like us that grows old, falls sick, and takes birth and goes through all the misery of going to school, making the projects, doing homework, you know all that struggle. God is supreme person, so he does not have to deal with all these problems, but he is like us because we are his part and parcels. So let's stop here and we'll take it further tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Please like and subscribe our channel and also tell your friends and relatives about it. Thank you. See you soon.